Earlier this summer, I produced a video about a hike through the White Mountains in New Hampshire. It was everything you'd want to see, from the mountain vistas to the clouds rolling over the mountain tops. It was amazing. Yes, we had a lot of rain the first day and a half, and this is the trail. The views of Mount Washington were spectacular, but it didn't feel like an honest representation of the experience in two regards. One, the physical challenge of the hike, and two, what it was like to go from hut to hut, and why we chose that strategy. And I committed to making a video to cover those topics. On this trip, I was with two of my buddies, Ed and Pradeep. We started our section hike at the Highland Center at Crawford Notch and went down to Route 16 past the Carter Nut Hut. According to the Far Out app, we did 25 miles on the AT, but somehow we managed to add another 10 miles or so with access trails and one wrong turn. The lodges are a little bit like a college setting where you have a dorm situation. You have to go down the hall to take a shower, and there's a cafeteria where you can get breakfast and dinner, and a little school store, if you will, a camp store where you can get resupplies. The huts I would liken to more of a summer camp feel, complete with the bunks that you sleep in, and the summer staff that even goes so far as to put on skits before each meal. Piss Paw Shelter, 0.7 away. Our bodies, and for me personally, my knees, were going to pay a high price for this experience. While Ed, Pradeep, and I had done considerable backpacking together, Ed suggested that we use the available system of lodges and huts that line the trail system along the White Mountains. This provided several advantages. Most notably, we would have to carry less on our backs, reducing the overall stress on our bodies. We wouldn't have to carry tents, and these accommodations made breakfasts and dinners available for us. They also provided bedding, so we didn't have to carry sleeping bags. The lodges and huts are run by the Appalachian Mountain Club. To make a reservation, go to their website, outdoors.org, and you'll find information on pricing and how to make the reservations. The prices are generally out of range for most thru-hikers, but you will run into some doing a work-for-stay program. It's the dining room that definitely gave me that camp vibe. One of the staff will often do an education session about the environment or the history of the place, and there's a small library where I found one of my favorite books to read to campers. Each hut has a unique setting and so something special to offer. However, they all have the same basic package, so you know what to expect. At the end of a long day of hiking, it's nice to be able to sit down with fellow hikers and share your experiences, and maybe even pull up a rock and watch a beautiful sunset together. The White Mountains are notorious not just for the sometimes extreme weather, but also for the rocky terrain and the elevation gains. Pradeep, Ed, and I are all seasoned hikers. Seasoned not only in our experience, but to give you some perspective, I was the youngest at age 59. The section we were hiking included Mount Washington. At 6,288 feet, it is the tallest mountain in the northeastern part of the United States.
Believe it or not, I think this is fun.
For us, the weather was worse on the approach than at the top.
That is awesome. This section is also known to include the steepest mile along the Appalachian Trail, with an overall elevation gain of 2,000 feet in just under a mile and a half. It's not only challenging, it's dangerous.
That was rock climbing, not hiking. There's a lot of people who don't understand the why. They look at the pain that you went through and hobbling around when you get back, and everybody asks you, what did you do to your knee? And they wonder at your judgment, but wonder at the opportunity.
Now, I don't want to dissuade someone from giving it a try. I mean, remember, I have knee problems, and the three of us, we were a little bit older, but we did it. And we prepared for it. So if you do your research and you prepare, you can do it too. Just go in with your eyes wide open and be realistic. Tell you, this climb is kicking my butt. It's been a long day of mostly uphills, and the descent, which was significant, was so hard on the knees. But we started our day, well, actually it wasn't even the start, it was a couple miles into our day. We were at the top peak behind me, Mount Washington. It's been a slog, but you know, I'm proud of myself, did it. So the reward for the effort is great views. Always be safe. If you need to turn around, if you need to avoid a section, do that. There was a family that was hiking together. They had an older teenage daughter, and she was taller than me. She was an athlete, and the father and daughter continued on, but the mother, having taken a pretty bad fall and had a bloody knee that was giving her some problems, she stopped. And, you know, she made it to Mount Washington. She took the cog down and probably had a great time hanging out, enjoying the local scenery that she didn't have to hike to get to, and waited for her family to join her. This father and daughter did laps around me. While I was staying on the Appalachian Trail, they were peak bagging and stopping at every one of the presidential peaks and going up and down, and so I would get ahead of them, then they would pass me, I'd get ahead of them again, they would pass me again. It's a very doable hike, but it is challenging. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed actually hiking the White Mountains and sharing this adventure with you.